A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, Hugh from Plaguelands Media here with another book look. Now this time I'm actually looking at an older book. This is one that I read as a kid, elementary school, beginning of high school. At the time, I wasn't very impressed with it. I actually thought it was pretty stupid, but it jogged my memory. I was looking up some pulp heroes, and I remember the name Doc Savage. And the book that I read was called The Man of Bronze. So I managed to track down Doc Savage. This actually is two books in one, The Man of Bronze and The Land of Terror. And I thought I'd read them and give you an idea of what I thought of it. Doc Savage, of course, billed as the origin of the first superhero, and you are going to find that there is a lot of stuff in the Doc Savage books that comic book characters, especially early comic book characters, have kind of taken over, but I'll get more into that a little bit later. So without further ado, here is a new episode of So the character of Doc Savage was created by an author called Lester Dent, of course, writing under the pseudonym of Kenneth Robeson. Now, Lester Dent was a lot of things. He was a farmer, he was a prospector, he ended up working as a telegraph operator, and that was how he started writing. He would write mainly adventure stories, pulp detective stories, things like this. And he created the character of Doc Savage for a publishing company who wanted to put out a pulp magazine with the same character, with stories of the same character. So Doc Savage was really the first magazine where every story, pulp magazine, where every story focused on the one character. Now, I said in the introduction that he's considered really the first literary superhero. You'll find that a lot of things in the Doc Savage stories have been kind of taken in by comic books. The most egregious example is the Fortress of Solitude. Doc Savage has a Fortress of Solitude in the Arctic where he works on experiments and things. Superman has a Fortress of Solitude where he goes in the Arctic as well. However, Doc Savage was published in 1933. The first Superman story was published in 1938. So you can attribute a lot of little things like that to the character of Doc Savage. Now, there are two stories in this book. Both of them are vastly, vastly different. The Man of Bronze is a Doc Savage origin story. Basically, Doc Savage was raised by his father to have like the perfect mind, the perfect body. He is athletic, he is strong, he is supremely intelligent. He has mastered languages, he's mastered surgery, he's mastered all kinds of abilities, which, while he isn't particularly superhuman, it would seem like that to the untrained eye. His skin is bronze. His eyes are gold, flaked with gold, which he uses to hypnotize people because he's mastered hypnotism too. Now, you're going to say this sounds fucking stupid, like he can do everything. Yeah, it is a little bit stupid, but that is what makes these stories so much fun to read. Doc Savage isn't the only main character. He has a cadre of friends with him. 5 to be exact. We have Johnny, who is a geologist and an archaeologist. Long Tom is an electrical expert. Rennie, I believe, is... I don't actually know. I can't remember what Rennie is. Ham is a lawyer, and Monk is just kind of a brutish fighter type person. and they go off on all kinds of adventures doing good. Now, The Man of Bronze is the story of how Doc Savage gets the wealth that he does so that he can fund going around the world and kind of helping people. His father was an adventurer and a philanthropist. And at the beginning of The Man of Bronze, his father is murdered by a mysterious disease. Doc Savage is attacked, and ultimately he discovers that his father has bought a plot of land in the South American country of Hidalgo. And so Doc and his friends travel there to find out what exactly is going on. And it turns out that there is a lost city in the valley where Doc Savage's father has kind of given him the deeds. And the chief of this lost city is going to give Doc Savage gold over a period of time. This lost city has a ton of gold in it, so everyone's kind of after the gold, especially a person, a captain from the nearby town who wants to start a revolution. So Doc Savage and his friends go to this land of the vanished, I believe they call it, Valley of the Vanished, sorry. And while there, they get into fights. He meets the chief's daughter, who is infatuated with him, but Doc Savage is too pure of a man to let a woman ruin any of his adventures. And ultimately, with every good pulp story, they defeat the bad guys. Now, there are moments in here where you are genuinely worried for the characters, even though I knew nothing bad would happen to them. The writing still sets it up very, very well. The stories are somewhat illustrated, a few pictures here and there, which is nice. And yeah, ultimately, that's the origin of Doc Savage. The Land of Terror was a much better story. It's the second story in the Doc Savage canon, and it is a much better one. And I think the reason is with The Man of Bronze, the publisher had to play it safe, had to kind of make sure that you got the layout for Doc Savage, but not too violent or anything like that. The Land of Terror ramps the violence level up an unbelievable amount. The plot revolves around bank robbers that are using this mysterious chemical to dissolve the walls of banks and also to murder people. They murder one of Doc Savage's friends, which of course sends him into a fury. And ultimately, he and his 5 friends follow this mysterious crime boss, this man named Carr, follow him to this volcanic island where there are still dinosaurs living and all of that kind of thing. So they go there, they have the showdown, and then, of course, they make good their escape. A really great story, a hell of a lot of fun. There's pirates, car chases, dinosaur fights, a great twist, which was a little obvious now I come to think about it, but that's perfectly fine in these kind of books. There are a lot more Doc Savage stories. Apparently, Lester was, what was the dude's name again? Lester Dent was churning out a lot of these stories every month, making him one of the most prolific published pulp writers to come out of the 1930s. So if you want to track them down, there was also a movie in the 70s, which is actually pretty shit, but there you go. Highly recommend if you're interested in pulp action novels. The Doc Savage books are a hell of a lot of fun to read. I really, really enjoyed it. This also has an autobiography of Lester Dent at the end, which is really informative, and an intermission in the middle that just gives you a bit of history of Doc Savage and a history of Lester Dent and the writing of the Doc Savage books. Doc Savage, Man of Bronze, and The Land of Terror, The Incredible Origins of the First Superhero. Check it out. You will not regret it. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, comment. You can also follow us on Facebook, follow us on playglandsmedia.com. You know, all the shit's in the ending, so just going to do that. In the meantime, read a fucking book, people.